Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever noticed something strange? When we're kids, we always root for the hero, the good guy, the chosen one. But then we grow up and suddenly the villain is way more interesting. Why does that happen? There's an ancient Chinese concept called yin and yang. The idea that the opposite forces don't just fight each other, they complete each other. Light and dark, order and chaos, hero and villain. Even in the symbol itself, the dark side contains a dot of light, and the light side contains a dot of dark. Maybe that's why as we get older, we stop seeing stories as good versus evil and start seeing them as complicated, because real life is complicated. When we're young, villains are simple. They're evil because they're evil. But think about it. What even is evil? Most of the time, it's just a label we give to someone who causes pain. It's easier to say they're evil than to try to understand their motives. But here's the thing. Flat, purely evil villains, they're boring. The villains we remember, the ones that stay with us, are the ones that feel human. Take Darth Vader from Star Wars or Prince Zuko from Avatar, The Last Airbender. They weren't born monsters. They were hurt, rejected, lost. Zuko especially, he started as the antagonist, but the more we learned about him, the more we understand that he isn't chasing destruction. He's chasing approval, belonging, love. And suddenly we're not rooting against him anymore. We're rooting for him to heal. That's when a villain becomes unforgettable, when we see ourselves in them. Then there's the villains like Anton from No Country for Old Men. He doesn't kill out of passion or rage. He flips a coin. To him, it's fate. That's terrifying in a different way because it suggests that sometimes there's no grand reason, no dramatic backstory, just randomness. And that makes us unforgettable because we like to believe everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the villain isn't even villain. Sometimes they're just relentless, like Fletcher in Whiplash. He's cruel, brutal, demanding, but he forces the protagonist to control his own limits. And here's the unforgettable question. Would the hero have become extraordinary without him? Sometimes the villain represents the harsh voice in our head, the pressure, the standard, the obsession with being better. And then there's the Joker, a villain so iconic that he gets his own movie. What made Joker so powerful wasn't the violence, it was the perspective. We weren't watching a monster from the outside, we were inside his head, and that's what unsettled people, because once you understand someone, it becomes harder to hate them. The Joker forces us to ask a dangerous question. If someone breaks under pressure, if society pushes them to the edge, are they just evil, or are they a product of their environment? Here's my theory. We love villains because they show us the parts of ourselves we're afraid to admit. The anger, the jealousy, the desire to control, the need of recognition. Heroes inspire us, but villains expose us. They reflect our shadow, and maybe that's why they feel so real. As children, we see stories in black and white. Good guys win, bad guys lose. But as adults, we start to understand everyone is the hero of their own story, and sometimes from a different perspective. The villains think they are too. So maybe the real question isn't why do we love villains? Maybe it's what part of ourselves are we recognizing when we do? Tell me in the comments, which villain do you secretly sympathize with and why? If you like this video, consider subscribing and liking this video. Thanks for watching.